I tried to go live, but it showed that I wasn't live. So technology is always interesting. So if you see this, let me know if you can hear me. I'm gonna try to see if it comes on. Technology is always so interesting. Kate, are you seeing it? Oh, you do. Okay. Can you hear me? Okay, great. Would you be willing to hand me my iPad? So Kate and I are going to work today together. So the thing with Work With Me Wednesday is going to be, I put in my description that, sometimes furniture flipping can be rather singular. And so I thought it would be fun to have an opportunity to work together. And so, writers do writing sprints and they work together because writing can be very singular too. My daughter is a writer. And so, they'll get online and they'll chat for a minute and then they'll play music and then they'll start writing. And I was like, we could do that with furniture. We could work together too. So I thought what we do is chat for a little bit. You tell me about the projects you're working on. I'll show you what I'm working on. And then we'll work for like 30 minutes. And then after that, we'll take a break and chat a little bit, get some water. It's hot here in Tulsa. It's really not that bad. It's 79, it's 9 o'clock. It's supposed to be 90, which isn't bad. I mean, it's summer here, but go ahead, Kate, you can take a walk?
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll see that.
And so it's not too bad, but would rather watch a tree grow. Well, we're not watching, we're working together. That's what we're doing. And so, for those people who, thanks Kate, who want to work with me, that's kind of what it is. It's more collaborative. So, I don't know. You can watch somebody else do something else. But we're flipping furniture today. And so I'll show you what I'm working on. Well, actually I finished up, if you saw my video on Saturday, that crazy lab dresser is the one I finished up. And I really do like it. I kind of tweaked the drawers a little bit more, and so it's better. It has these really cool, pull out. I think it would be really great. I thought it'd be really good for like a changing table. But because you can imagine it has like an inset, and so then you could put like a changing pad on there and then pull out and you'd have wipes or something. I don't know. I thought that would be kind of cool. But I did finish it, and it's ready. So I'm going to have to list it later today. And then I'm working on a American of Martinsville set, and it's beautiful. It's one of those 80s sets. And you can see the headboard behind me. It was like this, and man, I got so much. People were so mad because I took off some of the medallions on the dresser. Over on Facebook, that reel, it was only like a process reel, what are you doing? And so I told them what I was doing, I was like, oh, it's outdated. And that reel has gotten over 800 and, as of yesterday, 982,000 views. And a lot of them are mad about it, the fact that I took off, the moldings, but that's okay because we're going to make it beautiful. And I took pictures of it yesterday. I don't know how to share pictures on here, but if I could, when I pull stuff away, I'll give you a sneak peek. And so anyway, we'll see. But did I keep the hardware? I did. I did keep the hardware because I thought it was outdated, but somebody might want it. And so it's just so big, it's so big and clunky. But today, what I'm going to be working on is I'm going to be priming this. Now, I have stripped the arch area, which is beautiful, and I put a wood wax finish on it in the color cognac. I love to use Osmo oil, and they do have some oils that are colored, and so this one is cognac. So it's really cool because it's like a finish and a color in one. So I did one coat on that, and then I taped it off, and I'm going to prime the rest. And so that's going to go the same color. And then my daughter's actually working with me this summer. So she graduated in May. And so she's flipping furniture with me this summer. And so she is actually doing the matching armoire to it. That's the armoire to it. And what we did is we're taking off the, I'll show you. We're taking off the medallions and we're adding fluted trim. So here's the doors to her armoire, and we are adding this fluted trim, and then it will get painted. So it's really a very modern, beautiful look. And then she's actually also stripped the base, and we did the same. So this is a queen headboard that goes with it. It's really beautiful, and that's what I'm going to be priming today. And then hopefully I can start working on the, 2 weeks ago, I showed you the bookcase. This is for me, and it is so rough. Oh my goodness, I've had all kinds of trouble just trying to get the silly thing cleaned. But I'm kind of going for a cupboard of curiosities inspired by Duval Kitchens, if you've ever seen their stuff. So it's going to be a light interior. Yes, I am painting it. This thing is rough. So I'm going to be painting it. The body is a darker color. The interior will be light, and I'm going to do a new back with some beautiful wallpaper that I already have. So it's going to be for me, and it's going to be glammed out because that's what we do. And so it's going to be a beautiful color, and I'm sure I will gild it as well because, well, it's replacing an antique secretary that I had done for myself that didn't have a lot of storage, and we need book storage. And so that's why I'm gonna do that. And so anyway, so we're 15 minutes in-ish, 9:15. So we're gonna do some work. And so I'm gonna start getting the floor set up so that I can prime. And I'm gonna prime, Kate's gotta do a second coat of primer on the armoire, and I'm gonna prime the headboard. So I am in Oklahoma. I'm in the middle of the United States. So it's hot here. Like I said, it's like 79. I'm already sweating. But she is going to be studying writing. So she is, she's quite the writer. She's already had a short story published in an anthology, and so I homeschooled my kiddos, starting with my oldest. He was in the 4th grade, so not all the way through, but and it's not a fit for everybody, but we did kind of a hybrid where they went to school, had a tutor, and then we did some at home. And so she's the only one I homeschooled all the way through, and she was a reluctant reader, and she's the only one I taught to read, which was super intimidating. But she ended up being a voracious reader and a writer. And so she's pretty amazing. You give her something, a lot of times people are very intimidated by writing, but you give her a writing project and she just writes it out, no big deal. So she actually already took a lot of college classes. She's my 3rd, but she's a little type A. Very, very driven because she's already taken all of her maths that she needs for college. She's taken Comp 1 and 2. She's taken chemistry. So she's going into college with, I think she's going to have 23 or 26 hours already. So she's pretty amazing. But we get to work together this summer. And so it's kind of, I told someone I feel like it's borrowed time, because she's going, she'll be going to college. And so almost a sophomore. So if she had 30 credits, she'd be a sophomore, but she's taking the summer off. She's not doing any summer classes this summer. She's started her novel. So that's what she's working on this summer, and flipping furniture. So it's great. So she's my last, and it's fun. So we're working together this summer, and it's hot everywhere. But good morning. We have a lot of walkers in our neighborhood, so people come by all the time, and they're always wondering, what in the world is she doing? Talking to the camera in the garage. A little awkward, but it's okay. I'd rather work in my garage than a shop, actually, because then I can just kind of come out when I want to, and it's kind of nice. So, any other questions before I start? Because it's already getting hot. We've got, I'm going to work until 11, and then we'll take a break. But I'm just going to do 30 minutes. So it's 9:20 my time. So in 30 minutes, I'll come back and we'll chat. And you can tell me if you're working on a project, and then we can chat about your project. If you have any questions about your project, because of course, I know a lot of people ask me about stains and paints and all that kind of stuff. Or even if you want to ask me questions about listing things on whether it be Etsy or Facebook Marketplace, we can talk about that part too. So. All right, I'm going to get set up for paint. I think I might go ahead and prime mine first, Kate, because I know you got to work on your doors. Okay. Sorry. I'm not helping you.
So close to me at so far.
Oh, I did it several times too. She's taking crap breaking it down. Okay, time to take a break. I've been working for 30 minutes. So let's take a break and I'll tell you what I was doing. Can you guys hear me? I'll put this back on. Okay. Are you okay? Okay, let me go back through and look at the questions since I started working. So, let me go all the way back here. Do you know what inspired her turn on to love reading? You know, when we were, go all the way back to my daughter, I'm talking about my daughter being a reader. She was a reluctant reader, and then one of my friends taught a class about writing, and she was like a reading specialist major in college, and she really inspired Kate with her writing. Cooper, my dog goes crazy. Anytime there's this one particular poodle comes by, he just goes crazy. And so he's a poodle mix. He's a Cavalier and a poodle, but he acts more like a poodle. And so he goes crazy when certain dogs go by. And this particular little red poodle named Lucy, he goes crazy. So it's fairly embarrassing. But anyway, she had a teacher or a tutor because we homeschooled and then we did some classes. And so she had a tutor who was really big into reading, and she just kind of helped introduce her students to different books and different genres. And she said sometimes you just have to, you know, try different books to find something that clicks. And so she found a book that she recommended, and she read it. It was called Short. And ever since, she's just been hooked on reading, and she is a voracious reader. I'm a reader, but she is a voracious reader. I'm kind of a seasonal. I read more in the winter, but I love to read, and I like all kinds of things. I mainly like well, I like mystery, I like fantasy, but anyway, I like some romance, but I'm not like a huge romance person. I mean, if there's romance in the story and there's some adventure, okay. I'm reading the Stormlight series right now by Brandon Sanderson, and they're like 1,000, 1,200 pages. They're super thick. I'm just finished book 4, so that's kind of what I like. But anyway, that's what she's doing. So let me keep going here. T, you said this is your 3rd time trying smooth paint on my dresser. Wish me luck. Smooth paint, I tell you what. Someone else asked me in the YouTube comments about getting a smooth paint. And honestly, a lot of it depends on the brand of paint that you use and how you apply it. You can get a really smooth finish even with brush and roller. But there's some caveats to that. You have to use a quality paint that like lays down. And so I've used all kinds of paint. And right now, my current favorite is Sherwin-Williams Gallery series. Now, I used to do Command Paint by Benjamin Moore, and it's really good too, but I have found that I had to add Floetrol to it, which slows down the drying process, because if it dries like you can like recoat it within an hour, but it dries so fast that it would leave like a little orange peel. And so, you know, sometimes people add water to their paint if it's a water-based paint. Sometimes if I don't use oil-based, I just don't, you know, I'm not in a workshop and I just don't want to mess with cleaning out oil. I know people, oh, whatever, but I don't like it. I do use shellac-based primer, and I used oil-based stains, but I don't use oil-based paints. So, you know, you might try Gallery. I've never had to water it down or put any Floetrol in it, and it lays down so nice. Now, I used to have a Home Right sprayer, and it worked really good too. Stephanie, you said you have a electric sprayer. You know, when I started out, when I was practicing, they recommended just put some water in your gun and get some, you know, cardboard or something and practice with your sprayer. You can adjust your settings. That way you don't feel like you're ruining paint or, wasting paint, or you're ruining a piece of furniture. Just practice with the water. And I really think that helped me a lot. But, oh, I see Jimmy here. He said test it out on cardboard. That's exactly, I completely agree. So, I don't know. That's what I would suggest. I am trying to, this bookcase came to me with a lot of water damage. So I got it from a friend local. The reason I like it is because it has this, it goes like this, and then it has the step up in the middle. It's kind of petite. It's only like 47 inches wide, and I have a specific wall in my house that I needed to fit on. So I had to look for a specific, size. So it's rather petite, and the middle drawer or the middle doors has an arch in the glass, and which is beautiful. But like I said, it came to me with so much water damage. And so the plan is, that particular veneer was already off peeling, so I just took the rest of it off. And I didn't use my heat gun. I see someone asked me if I used, Stephanie, you said, have I tried my heat gun? I don't use, my heat gun doesn't work sometimes very well for me on veneer. It seems like steam works better for me. So that's what I did. But I'm gonna re-veneer it, but it's actually gonna be painted anyway, so it doesn't matter. So like I said in my intro, I'm going for, if you've ever followed Duval Kitchens, they have this curiosity cupboard. And what they do is they paint it, the interior gets light, and then the back is wallpapered. And that's what I'm going for. So I've done some similar things in the past, but this one, like I said, is for me. And so it's gonna get decked out. And it'll probably get gilding too, because it's for me. Let me see here, what else do we have? He says, I will say that one of the reasons I have to paint this the third or fourth times I'm losing count is because I sprayed and prayed without really practicing on cardboard. I get you. Sometimes I go too fast, and anytime I go too fast, guaranteed I mess it up. I don't know. Flexio is supposed to be really good. Like I said, my little home right sprayer, it was like $50, $60, and it actually worked pretty good too. The one I'm working on, the one I have is the Erlex 5700. Wagner bought Erlex, and so now Wagner makes it. And it's a 2 turbine, so it has its own little unit, and then the gun. And the gun is all metal, which I love. I can take it all apart, which my home right, the motor was in where the spray nozzle was really hard to clean. But I say practice with some water. Just take it out, practice it, see what it feels. And you know what? Sometimes you're gonna mess up. I still mess up. And one time I just had my air pressure on way too high, or and it just dripped. And I'm overly optimistic, and I'm like, oh, it'll be okay. And I just kept going. And then I have to then I had to go back and sand it. So sometimes just slowing down is good too. How do you plan your work with multiple projects? I really like to work on at least 2 or 3 projects at a time. So like earlier, I sprayed the headboard. I have to wait 30, 40 minutes before I can do anything else to it. So while that's doing its thing, drying, then I can move on to another project. And then like I'm waiting for that one to dry. So then sometimes I like to have a third project. So it just depends on how much space you have, but I'm a list person, so I do write everything out and try to figure out what all I can work on. Now the bookcase is for me, and so it'll be like I'll work a little bit here, a little bit there, because it's not one that I'll sell, obviously. And so in order to keep having things to list and to sell, I try to focus on those more. And then the pockets of time that I have, that's when I work on some of my personal projects, because I've kept quite a bit for myself, but that's okay. That's part of it. So anyway, so that's what I'm working on. Like I said, I am going to re-veneer that little area. So since you're on the live, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. So I'm thinking I have a beautiful paper. Oh, it's inside. I'll have to bring it out next time and show you. But it's a navy paper. I say navy, kind of a dark blue. And it has, I think it has, does it have birds on it, Kate? It's not a peacock, is it? Well, maybe it's a peacock. It has birds and different things on it. It's beautiful. I don't remember where I got it. I either got it from Rifle Paper Company, maybe. I think I got it from Rifle Paper Company. They have beautiful, beautiful papers. And so that's going to go on the back. And then I think the exterior is going to be like a navy. The thing that it's taking its place is Midnight Blue by Fusion, which is beautiful. You know, I don't use a lot of boutique paints, but I started out using Fusion, and I like it for low traffic pieces. I don't use it for dressers, especially dresser tops. Like if I'm going to ship something, I want to make sure that paint's going to last. And so for me, it would need to be something that dries really rock solid, and that would be the Command paint. It would be the Gallery series, and my absolute favorite that I've ever tried is like a Italian coating. It is called like Icro. It's ICRO. You have to order it from the Hartley Group. Fantastic. It's not that much more than Gallery. I mean, literally not that much more at all, and it is like amazing. Like when I redo my kitchen cabinets, that's what I'm using, because it's it's more of a coating, that is what they call it, than a paint. And so, you know, if you're trying to sell things, or if you are, you know, especially if you want to ever start shipping things, you've got to use really quality paint. Because I know sometimes people recommend, oh, you know, just use chalk paint, or just use an all-in-one, you know, primer and paint and sealer. I ain't gonna do it, because I don't want those people coming back to me in a few years saying that the dresser is chipping and falling apart. So I'm gonna use the highest quality that I can find, and that's what I do. So I'm gonna sand. We took a 10-minute break. Now I'm gonna work for another 30 minutes. So I'll work until 10:30, take another little break, and then we'll wrap up at 11. But anybody else working on any other projects out there? Tell me what you're working on. How are you selling? Like I said, I'm sold out right now. I have two pieces I'm going to list. One of them I'll probably list on Facebook and on Etsy, because it's beautiful and it's a high quality piece. And because I used a good paint, I use Command. It dries so good, so I feel comfortable shipping that one. But anyway, so I'm going to do the second coat of primer. I'm going to give it a scuff sand on the headboard, and then I'm going to maybe work on the bookcase a little bit more. I need to take the bottom doors off. They're all rusted, but I need to take those hinges off and see if I can get them off so I can get it sanded. And then the side is like leaning over. It's like disattached. So I did get some hide glue, because it's period specific to antique. So I'm going to work on getting everything put back together, because it's a mess. And this is what my husband wants. He wants this one. This is mainly for him. So he keeps asking me, where's my bookcase? I'm like, it's going to be a while. I'm trying. So anyway, I'm going to get back to work, and I'll come back in 30 minutes.